Hello, I thought I'd talk about this Dobro that I built. It's Dobro's technically a brand name, but most people associate this type of instrument and with Dobro and call it a Dobro, even though what it really is an acoustic resonated lap steel. So it's easier to say Dobro. So I built this. I'll talk about the process in just a minute, and you can see it. It has a spider bridge in it and all those kinds of things. Thought I'd just play a little bit, talk about a custom capo I made for it, and let you hear the instrument. So that's the sound, and of course you play them with one of these little bars, and you work up and down the frets. So it's tuned to an open G and a Dobro style tuning, which is GBD, GBD. So GBD, GBD, it goes just like that. And it's open G, and so then your 5th fret marker would be a C chord, and then your 7th fret marker would be a D chord, and then you pick the right strings and things like that to get your minors. So that said, that's essentially the instrument in a nutshell. Of course, once I take the strings off, I'm getting ready to change the strings, and so I thought it would be a good time to do this video. So in just a little bit, I'll be taking the strings off, and what that'll allow me to do is open it up and let you see inside it, and then I'll put it back together, and then I'll restring it and complete the video. So I may not get it all done today just because I have other things to do. Well, in the process, the difficulty that you can run into sometimes, or at least for me, I'm not a keen Dobro player. I can get along, like if when some of the guys are sitting around playing old-timey songs, I can sit in with them and play the Dobro just fine along with all of those guys. And it's a lot of fun. But I tend to just play a standard style guitar most of the time. Well, in the process, I needed to be able to capo this as it is tuned in G, because sometimes I like to sing in A or B flat or etc. And Dobro capos aren't always the easiest thing to come up with. So I took a shub capo, which looks like this, your standard shub capo for a guitar. And these are nice capos, very old school, haven't changed their design in years. And I like them quite a bit. Well, I was trying to figure out what can I do to create a capo on this, because you can't squeeze the strings down to the fingerboard. If you look at the space, there aren't really frets, they're just fret markers. And you look at the space, you can't capo it that way. And so I figured the best way was to figure out a way to squeeze the strings wherever I wanted the capo to be. So I took a different shub that I had. So that's what it looks like, and it goes on like that. I turned it upside down, and I shaped a little piece of wood. You can see over some brass, and I screwed the brass onto the wood. Well, the wood fits into the curvature of the shub capo that's designed for the radius of a guitar neck. And this brass piece is part of a door latch, and so I just put that in there, and when I put it over the strings, it clamps down over the strings just like that, and it gives me a capoed sound. So that was my little invention. Everyone says, oh, you should do something with that. We all know I'm way too lazy to worry about that sort of stuff. So if we look at the instrument, here I want to put it on the 3rd fret marker, which is here. I'll have to probably line it up a little better in just a minute, but I'm going to slide the rubber piece under the strings like that, get it lined up on the 3rd fret marker, and just squeeze it down. And there I have a capo. Now I'm going to have to straighten it before I make sound with it. And but that's it, how it goes in. See, I just slide it right in there, and I lock this down. So now our capo's in position. and we have it set at the 3rd fret marker, and that puts me in B flat, as I explained. Then I just go up, you know, the same deal. If I want to, it's no longer a C chord because I'm capoed, but if I wanted to play that position, it'd be 5 fret markers from the capo, and then the D chord would be 7, etc. And so it kind of sounds like this. From the great Atlantic Ocean to the wide Pacific shore, the green old flowing mountains to the south down by the moor. She's mighty tall and handsome, she's known quite well by all, the regular combination on the Wabash Cannonball. So there's an old folk song on a dobro. That's how that works. So let me get into this, start changing out the strings, and then when I take all the screws out of this faceplate, which I normally wouldn't do to change strings, but I thought it'd be fun to do the video and look inside this thing. I can't completely remember what it looks like myself. I've had it for quite some time since I built it. And then I'll tell the story of the build, put it back together, and that'll be the video. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I've taken the plate off and taken the cone and the bridge out, and I thought I'd talk about building this. And what happened was I was walking by and I saw a piece of wood. It became the neck, and what it was the newel post, which is the post that holds the stair rail that goes straight up and down, and there was one there, and I saw it and thought, you know, that would make a good guitar neck for a dobro, for a you know, Resonator square neck guitar. And so let's see, that's what it says on the string, square neck Resonator guitar. So I thought, well, that would work. And so I shaped it a little bit, gave it a little more angle, and then you can see I cut it out here and set up the headstock. And then for the back was just, it was really just a piece of plywood. And I thought, well, that looked pretty good. And I put it on the back. And the sides were made out of bindi ply. And then I made the top, and I had a good piece of leftover redwood that I used for the top, as you can see. And of course, on this instrument, which is different than a standard acoustic guitar, I wasn't concerned about the top and back flexing. I wasn't as worried about tone woods, because most of your tone is going to come from this cone with the spider bridge in it. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And so that's how that went. And I kind of wanted it a little smaller, fit in a little smaller case, just a little easier to handle. It's not as deep as your standard square neck Resonator. And so then I put some straight braces in across here. These are made out of mahogany, and you can see cut in a lip here, made a sound well, and I just braced it with some doweling and some more mahogany blocks there, and so you can see that. Put an end block in here, of course, and I added this extra redwood ring because I just wanted to raise the bridge a bit, and it gives it a little bit of a contour that I thought was nice. And then inside you can just see that's kind of it's a baffle that I made out of some plastic pickguard material, and that just kind of helped balance the sound. And it's not uncommon to see a baffle just like that in a square neck Resonator guitar. So I can't say that was my idea. I've seen it in others, and I just thought it looked like a good idea. And so I put that in there. And of course, then drilled some holes out and put these screens in, which come as part of a Resonator kit, to let some of the sound come out that way. And that's essentially it. So then what happens, this is different than a National Bridge. I've built those also, but this is called a spider bridge, and your cone is a little bit reversed. And this is standard way to set up a square neck Resonator guitar. And that just lays right in there like that. And once the cover plate's on, then I can put the tailpiece back on. And the strings hooking the tailpiece, they go right up over this bridge, and it's all hooked together. So the spider bridge is screwed onto the cone. You can see the bolt, and the bridge is split so that the bolt can go through it, and notched, and then it just fits into the slot there. And so you put that in and line that up, and then the strings just go over that, and they go over the nut, and they create tension, and there's your sound. And I had made one I'd given away to a friend that you don't have to have that pretty cover plate. I had a smaller tailpiece. I was able to put that on, and it just shows the bridge is just showing, and the strings going over it, and it sounds fine. Obviously, the purpose of the cover plate is to protect the aluminum cone and protect the spider bridge. It also gives your hand a place to rest, and it looks much nicer. So that's essentially it. It's a pretty significant fit there, and as you can see, and it drops in place, and then this bridge, this cover plate goes over it. I'll be screwing that on. I used brass screws on this particular one just to give some color contrast. And then once your cover plate's on, your tailpiece goes on, and you string it. And so that's what we're getting ready to do next, is line this all up. And I took it apart just to show the inside, and then I'll string it. Of course, whenever I string an instrument, I polish it, with some sort of guitar polish, and this one's no exception. So before I put the strings on it, I will spray it and wipe it down, and then string it. And after that, I'll come back and I'll play it again and close the video. So I hope you enjoy it so far. It is something most anyone can do if they just think about it, and it doesn't always, to build a Resonator, it doesn't have to be fancy. I cut all that out with a little handheld saber saw, and it was pretty simple. And you just have to be careful and draw a good circle with a compass and stay on the line. That's pretty much it. And put it together. And generally speaking, any Resonator you build, whether it's ugly or pretty, is going to sound great. The one I made before with an exposed cone, I no longer have that one, or I do a video on it, is just a square box. I just made it big enough to drop the cone in, and put a round neck on that one, and it works great. So if you'll just hold on a little bit, well, you won't have to hold on at all, because it's just a short pause in the video. I'll put this back together, and I'll complete this process. Okay, restrung, back together. Maybe it's a little shiner because I did polish it. A couple things I didn't mention earlier, the fretboard. I made that. That's a strip of tiger wood, which was designed to be hardwood flooring. And then it's got maple inserts, the width of a saw blade, basically. So we grooved it where it needed to be, and stuck the maple in and sanded it down. Of course, same thing with the dots. They're maple also. And that kind of gives it a nice look. And you can see the tailpiece has the strap button that holds the tailpiece on. And generally, if you put a strap on one of these, you put that on the tailpiece, you have it tied around the headstock, and you wrap your arm like that through the strap, and you play it. I can't think of anything else to say about it. It has a great sound, and maybe you can hear what happens when you put fresh strings on it, on any instrument from the older ones. Well, that's it for the build on this square neck resonator guitar, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really get a kick out of this instrument. It's a lot of fun, especially you know, I play a lot of hymns, and there are people that get together with some guys that like to go through a book where I put the chords to for hymns, and when we're doing that, and they're playing the hymns and going through it, it's kind of fun sometimes to break this out and play along and back them up, because it gives it that real vintage sound. So till the next time, Lord bless you. I hope you enjoyed the video.